guys. Alright, so this is part 6, I believe. I know it's been a little while since I made a video. Been pretty busy with work and family and everything else, so anyway. So what we're doing now is adding bolt metal to the other parts of the gun and also to the model. So believe it or not, the metallic is probably my least favorite part of painting the models. Primarily because, at least for me, you have to get the consistency right with the metallic paint. Otherwise, I think it comes out pretty bad, chunky, and messy. Anyway, I'm not really sure how to put that. I always want to make sure I get good coverage, and in order to get it to flow properly, you usually need to thin it down a little bit or add some flow improver, maybe like a drop of dish detergent, maybe a couple of drops of water, and usually that will it'll go on pretty smoothly and evenly. That way you can do it in thin coats, and if you need to do a second layer, you can. It won't clump up and start to look bad. I'm just adding the metallic to the eagle, the Imperial Eagle on the chest there. So, like most of the metallics, what I'll do first is paint, and then go back over it with the Citadel wash, the Devlin Mud Citadel wash, which will usually dull the shine because, in my opinion, just straight out of the pot, the metallic a little too bright. So I just, like I said, just make sure it's even. And with the eagle, I'm making sure to get it into the undercuts, just where the feathers are. There's a little piece under there. Because of the positioning of the arm, I'm having to kind of go over the top here and try to get in there. It can be kind of hard getting around that arm. I'm sure anybody who's painted Marines or any other models, it's often hard to get at those places. Sometimes I'll admit some of the stuff that's concealed, precisely because no one will ever see it, so I'll sometimes leave it, but every time I do that, I have to be honest, I gotta feel like I'm cheating, or I don't know, maybe that's silly. But anyway, so now I'm just moving on to the backpack, and again, just applying it in even coats. I usually get pretty good coverage with the Games Workshop metallics. That's why I can usually just do one coat. It goes on real smooth and even. And here with the backpack, sometimes when you're brushing the paint over, it'll create a little bubble, and I almost always try to pop those bubbles. Sometimes they'll just pop on their own, but when they don't, and if you don't notice them, then they'll actually dry. The bubble won't maintain, but the ring where the bubble was will actually dry that way. So you'll have it'll almost close off one of the little vent holes, and it's minute, but if you're just looking at the model, it's going to draw your eye. At least it does me. Maybe I'm too much of a perfectionist or something, but whenever I see that, it always bothers me. So I have to take my X-Acto knife and kind of clean it out, I guess. Sometimes you can just, when you put the wash on, it will settle into those areas and darken it enough so that it's not noticeable. But anyway, just something to look out for when you're brushing over an open space with paint. Sometimes a little air will get trapped in there, and so anyway, just I'm finishing up the skull detail on the bottom of the backpack. Sometimes I paint the vents on the lower portion. I'll paint those metallic, and sometimes I don't. So usually I'll try to stay consistent within a squad, and do them all the same. That way, it's a little easier to tie the figures together on the battlefield when you're plucking them off. You know, the unit, you don't mix up the units. I know it's rare that happens, but sometimes when you get them close together, you could accidentally pull a model from the wrong unit. But I guess it doesn't really matter in most cases, as long as you're removing a model. But anyway. Since this one I did specifically for this video, I don't really have a scheme in mind. I'm just kind of do this one. He can fill in anywhere. In one of the last comments, someone asked what is a wash, and in answer to that, all it is ink in some type of medium. There's a ton of different examples of washes. What I'm using is just the Games Workshop wash. It's just ink in some type of alcohol suspension, something like that. Basically, you just brush it into the recesses where you want to have shading. It's an easy way to give your model more depth. So basically, that's our. You know, if you're not familiar with them, you can go to Games Workshop's website and look in I think it's the hobby section, and there should be like paints and washes, explanation of what they are and how you use them. I think I also have earlier on in this video I think show how it's used, how I use them. So, and I think further on I'll be using them, like after this video I'll definitely, or after part 6, in part 7 I think I'll go on to show how I use the wash on the metallic portion to bring that shine down. So I can talk further about it at that point. So anyway, like I said earlier, I'm just picking out all the parts that I want to be metallic, like on the helmet, the little viewfinder there, or targeting lens, or whatever it is. And I usually do the hoses from the respirator, or in some cases some of the helmets will have little points at the end where the hoses would be, and I'll usually use with metallic. I also do the little earpieces. That's what I'm doing here. There's I don't really know how to describe it. A little piece that sticks up, where I imagine the ear would be. I usually paint those silver. Try to add a little more to the helmet. I know some folks either paint them the same color as the armor or leave them black. I just like them to stand out a bit. So, and all the painting I'm doing is really just a tabletop quality. I'm not going for, you know, any super heavy detail or extra special blending. It's all just really basic, and that's really what I do for almost all the rank and file stuff. I don't want to spend a great deal of time painting the basic models. So anyway, so now I'm just kind of going around retouching little places that I might have missed. So it's done, and in the next video I'll be doing the wash on the metallics. So thanks for watching, guys, so long. Alright, see you on the next part.